Hey guys, this is Sarah's night.
And Lantis, and you missed.
I missed. Oh.
You missed.
Click
There you go.
Duh.
Then you just clicked off again. One click. There you go.
Alright. Oh god, and look at this. I'm already trying to like use the right analog to change the camera around as I'm walking, like this is a more modern game like that.
Like you were playing yesterday.
I just heard... Oh, well, actually you can in some areas, now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure we brought this up before, but it's like, what was this dude doing?
I believe he was glad he's finally on land again.
Or something like that. Wait, how the hell do you talk to him again?
No?
He looks like he's got vampire fangs.
He is...
Like, two fangs at either end.
He's biting his bottom lip is what he's doing.
We didn't bust through the walls. That would be
By
impossible.
the way, he's not excited to be back on the ground. He's just freaking out because of something he thought will happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was supposedly the first time in history it's ever been done.
Have you ever been so excited you literally decided you had to flop on the ground and have a freaking seizure?
Didn't Jonas used to do that? He's like, yeah, did you ever just try, like, in public, just start flopping around on the ground back and forth in front of everybody and see how they react?
Maybe that dude's really Jonas.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's been like, well, not according to y'all, but it's been like 4 months since we were last on this.
Yeah, well, and when's the last time you uploaded one?
Like 2 weeks ago.
I'm gonna assume the next part's not gonna go up till like maybe a week from now, so 3 weeks probably since they've seen an app.
Crap, I forgot. Couldn't we have like a mini map on screen so I can get down to the South Ocean without problems?
I don't know.
Because that was our next thing. We just got the first of 6 moonstones. Oh yeah, you can't pass through.
No, you can't. But you know what you can have?
What?
A random encounter.
Dang it! That'd be funny if one happened.
I know, I was so banking. There it is. Oh man, had I waited just a few more seconds for that line, that would have been perfect. Dang it.
I remember when we last left off, we got the red moonstone, the first of 6, like 1.5 videos ago, but we took like a 2-hour video just to get that one optional fight.
Good gracious.
Alright, these guys aren't.
And you were so naysaying the entire time that you couldn't do it.
Oh, okay. I knew what you were going for now.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just recounting what happened.
That was easy.
That was easy. I need to put him back on red so he can start learning.
Red, yeah.
I think I usually do that with Vyse. Have him learn all the red stuff first.
I think everybody gives everybody... The reason why it's best to spread them out and not put them on the same one is because people in the party still get, like, residual experience from whatever colors you have. So, like, as long as someone has silver, everybody's going to eventually learn all the silver magic as well. Like, and I think that's a really cool, like, thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can't we change it on here, or does it have to be in battle? I guess it has to be in battle.
No, you can totally do it.
I never remember
that. You
that.
have to hit Z while you're hovering over the character, I think, which I think we put...
See, I don't even remember what button Z is.
It's right bumper, I think we mapped it to. Like, you have to go to the menu.
Okay, right.
Go to equip the character.
Okay.
And then hit... There should be a button to change the freaking color... There, there it is. I knew it was there.
It wasn't a shortcut button, I just had to click on it again.
Okay.
And then it'll say, which one do you want to go to? I'm guessing that was a pirate ship, so let's not screw with that. And there's nothing back here.
Nada.
What's this ship doing back here?
We've got nada. 3.
You know, I'm guessing this is a black pirate ship that's just hoping that some idiot will just wander around into, like, the nothingness parts of the world map.
You mean
it's like, yeah, there's no danger, and like, who would hang around here? And then it's like, surprise! Well, let's get a piece. Oh, no.
It's a merchant ship. Who is he gonna sell to out here?
Yeah.
I guess us?
And dude, the sad thing is, like, this is the mid-ocean. This is, like, easily the most traveled part of the world.
Yeah.
The South and North Oceans and beyond, there's, like, hardly a soul that has ever been to those places by comparison.
Yep.
I'd stay clear of Lua. Well, yeah, especially since I
got some bad news.
Oh, well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I killed the executioner.
Yeah. Wait, you're not gonna sell wares? I guess
No,
it's
they
an
just call them
NPC,
merchant
yeah.
ships. Just for... Okay. What was the auto map button? Here we go.
Buttons at all.
Oh, crap. Well, I need to go back around and through the rock wall, apparently. Or, no, it was underneath this bit. This overpass, and then...
Can't you just ride the rock wall all the way in? Like, can't you just get in the rock wall?
Yeah, probably.
And go?
But you know what? The more I think about it, I don't think I even need to go. I need to go around through the rock wall here, not back in the mid-ocean, but around, because this part is the South Ocean. And then so I go like this way in a sort of a horseshoe shape. And this is Taka, where we're supposed to be going next. The land of the green moon.
Oh, well, we're going to be doing a little bit of...
Oh yeah, that's going to be
world
pretty much
mapping.
this whole video.
So let's get some talking going in. So this weekend, you
Okay, you're going to have to really help me out on that, do most of the time, because you know how bad I am at concentrating on...
Well, you don't really... you're just doing random encounters, man.
Dude, in the South Ocean, do you not remember? Do you not remember? Okay, obviously you don't. That can be a bitch.
That was easy.
There is at least one enemy there, if not two, of like maybe the 4 total different enemy types you can counter that will do eternities on you.
What? Really?
Yeah, auto death to all.
Really?
No lie. I actually wish I had
Well,
learned.
it has nothing to do with concentration. That's luck.
Well, and killing them as soon as possible and paying attention to who has died, who's been KO'd from that.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's I think Dr. What's his name and the Maria clone
From
the
Xenogears.
Xenogears. But we already fed him moonfishes.
Oh, by the way, I was hanging out with Mayokai the other week, and he had an inkling to play Sonic All-Star Racers Transform, which, just gonna throw this out there real quick, controversial opinion probably, but better than Mario Kart in every way.
Really?
Just throwing that, yes.
Wow.
Better, it is the best.
And this is of a Sonic game.
Yeah, it's a Sonic kart racer, and it is better than Mario on every front.
Wow.
And
That's that is a heavy accusation to lay down.
Come at me, bro. Like, I don't even care. But anyway, we haven't played it in a long time. That was one of the last games that the mag group actually regularly played. We had a good time with it, right? You know who my racer was? Who I picked on the reg?
Who?
Vyse.
Vyse is in this?
Vyse was in Sega All-Star Racers Transform. We're talking about the Sega All-Star characters, and Vyse was a racer.
Yeah, but not many people know about this game, so how would he be like a real popular mascot?
Enough to where he was a racer.
I mean, hey, cool. Don't get me wrong.
Let's see who else is in there that's of note. Aside from an abundance of Sonic characters that honestly they could have used for more cool people, but and they had some really weird choices too, like the Football Manager from Football Manager. Sega has a game. Ooh, that's
these freaks me way the hell out. When I first played through this game, I thought you had to stay away from them or like it'd suck your ship in and it's automatic game over. But no, I think you can straight up touch them. It's just like because you have that special engine now to make it through here, it's like the tornadoes
don't affect you
are
at all.
Completely. But yeah, here we are, entrance to the South Ocean.
That game also had guest characters, like an actual racer in real life. Danica Patrick was a racer in
Who?
Danica Patrick. She's like a I can't remember if she's NASCAR F1, but she's an actual racer in real life, and she was in there. Simon Lane from the Yogscast, a YouTube channel, was a DLC character in the game. Let's see.
Friggin' loopers.
Yeah, but it had a really large roster. It had like, basically, if you can think of a Sega franchise that is at least somewhat known, there's probably somebody representing that game, or represented in that game. But yeah, I thought you'd be interested to know that Vyse was a racer, and I was a big fan of him as a character.
Yeah.
There's a sequel to the game coming out. I'm looking forward to it. I know we're not going to play it much in the mag group. Like, it might just be me, Mayokai, and that's it. But
I want to point out, again, here's one of those kind of inconsistencies about the Skies of Arcadia universe.
yeah,
Nobody. And the Empire got here before us.
Yeah.
And I find it hard to believe that towards the beginning of the game, we are literally the first people to ever do this in the first place, when this is actually by far not the most treacherous place on the planet.
And you know what? They should have been first, considering you outlined your entire plan right in front of them!
Yeah, Blaze was like, yeah, we're already there, so you're too late. But we didn't know that!
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been interesting if they actually did make this like kind of a where you do have to avoid getting too close to the tornadoes. I mean, are they really just going to be there for show?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I hate how square everything seems to be. Like, everything is right angled. Look at the fog wall in the sky and the ground.
Yeah.
It's just so.
I mean, they kind of like
anything...
suck you in and make it hard to like get past, but all it does is really slow you down. Essentially, it's not that big a deal.
I'm just saying, you know how I like my symmetry, man. I like finding symmetry anywhere possible. But weather and the world, if there's anything that needs to be like asymmetric, that's it. Like,
yeah. All right, let's see if we can go ahead and take these guys down, because I think they're the Eternities monsters.
So SK has finally caught up on the Mario franchise after many years of not having played a lot of them. You've finally got caught up on the franchise in its entirety.
Serves up right.
How'd you feel about Odyssey, man?
I didn't like it exactly as much as Galaxy 1 and 2, but it's still really good.
No.
So, I mean...
How'd you like the...
Oh, there are landmasses here.
Sweet. How'd you like the festival in New Donk City?
Oh yeah, that was like one of the greatest things ever.
Dude, everybody loves Jump Up Superstar.
Well, and just everything else that's going on during that part.
Here goes.
Oh crap. Okay. Well, they were strong against green too. At least I thought they were.
This isn't gonna be good.
I mean, if I could just do Rain of Swords right away, it'd get them all in one hit.
Isn't there, like, an item or an accessory or something that gives you more FP at the beginning of fights?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
I'm trying to remember. I'm
But
sure
you get a, you know, you start out with more and more SP naturally as you level up too. Well, at least that's just the one that only hits one person. It's just guaranteed. I like how Vyse, he like tries to do the
get up,
like do the, you know, leap back to your feet cool pose, and it's like, nope, that got me.
I'm going down. I'm gonna be real upset if in All Stars 2 or Transform 2 they're not going there. This is actually the second game. Transformed is the second game. The first one had a much more smaller roster. I'm gonna be upset if Vyse isn't in the sequel that's being made right now.
Magic?
Magic? HP absorb. Yum, 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 yum.
Man, that does some damage.
And he's fully healed.
Move! Give me strength!
Give me strength. And that did not do damage.
I should have had Vyse do a pyre right away. He'd probably be the strongest in it.
Move! Give me strength!
Yeah. There we go. And
Yeah,
Vyse-
because it's Fina. Because Fina's awesome at everything. I don't know why. I like this camera shake when she smiles.
It's
Like,
too bad you didn't get into Valkyria Chronicles a little bit more. Vyse is a character in that too.
so what?
He's cool. Vyse and Taka. And technically Fina's in there as well. Later in the game, she starts coming in as a medic, so whenever her character goes down, she's the one that recovers them. It's funny.
Got plenty of healing, so not worried about that at all. I like how it seems so dark in most places in the South Ocean on screen. But when you get to the battle screen, it's like perfectly light outside, and the tornadoes look almost perfectly harmless.
Oh, they need to put weapons in the racer. That'd be really good too.
And see, look, it's like total daylight,
Mm-hmm.
and the tornadoes look casual.
He's just gonna pyre.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, actually, let's try to get the looper.
Is
With
it worth the risk?
Get the other pyre with her. That'll definitely do it. Just have Ica and try to get the looper because they're impervious to magic.
Give me strength.
That
Wow,
did
Vyse, you
nothing.
suck.
Here goes!
I expected a little more out of you, buddy.
Move!
Alright, 2 characters have acted and the enemies are perfectly fine.
I hope they don't all do eternities.
Yep, if so, you're dead.
Maurice.
You did? That was funny, I was walking down the hallway, we were playing Mario, and I heard, and you know, you died, and I was like, hey, Maurice!
You know, maybe we should look up that movie.
Give me strength!
Did you ever see Cool Runnings where John Candy was managing like the Jamaican bobsled team that really
Make the
sucked?
ball stretch deep.
That was easy.
Really like Vyse's weapon.
No, you know what? You know what we need to watch tonight?
Yeah?
Because I brought it up yesterday. The Great Outdoors.
I mean,
Let's watch that, man.
we can totally do that.
That's from my childhood, and it was good. So, how far across are we here? Oh god.
Not
Because
very.
I mean, the tornadoes really slow you down. You can touch them though. I mean, they won't do anything.
Hey, is that a building on a landmass on the right? Is that like a discovery? That's your left. No, that was like a mountain.
There probably is several discoveries on land masses in here though that I'm just not worrying about.
Because you just want to get through it. Because
Yeah.
it slows you down and people can instant kill you. You're just like, ugh.
I'm surprised it hadn't happened yet, honestly.
Vyse is oh, you mean like total game over?
Well, crap. I could do a Cutlass Fury to get one looper out of the way and get that experience, but then I can't get rid of the dudes because I won't have any more
worry about
SP
the
to.
experience.
Yeah.
Do not worry about the experience.
No, we need to have Ica and Fina do Pyre. That's what needs to happen.
Because apparently, Vyse's magic attack is Garbo. And he can't hit.
I like how Vyse has a supersonic long-range attack from the sword. You know, that was one thing, and I assume, after all this time, I still have watched the like, prequel kind of movie to FF15 Kingsglaive.
Yeah.
I assume they explain where and
Don't
how
assume.
Noctis got like his amazing warp strike powers and where he can
I'm
switch
assuming
swords.
that's just passed down through his family line, right?
I just, it's like he could just do it so casually since the very beginning of the game. And it's just like, this is one of the most incredible powers where even as a total newbie at fighting, you already have a distinct advantage over just about, you know, anything the Empire can throw at you, anyone. Even most Magitech soldiers, and they're not going to tell you how you got this?
Yeah, it's probably a technique passed down the Armstrong family line for generations.
Well, nobody talks about how awesome they are.
I mean...
They don't come off as like...
I mean, it's kind of obvious, especially since in the game, you go to your ancestors' graves, and they're like, oh yeah, you can have my weapon too. Like, clearly they could do it as well. Like...
I mean, I figured that it had to be something like that, but I would like to know how that came about to his ancestors. It's just something I needed to know. I got hung up on it in the same way Spoonie gets hung up on Dalid Jelly. You know?
Alright. Dalid Jelly is something that is nonsensical and bullshit. Like, Noctis's powers are cool and awesome.
Let's just start hitting the X button as I'm floating over that and see if I happen to... Actually, I think in and of itself, like, some of the mandatory stuff you have to do, just getting through a section of the world, that's considered a discovery. I mean, I don't really know how, but whatever.
I'll take the money.
See, it's like... The red magic, when it comes to attack, that's just about the only thing you're going to want to use, though. Except maybe on individual bosses. Because it's the only magic that hits everybody.
Yep.
At once.
Yep.
It's like each of them have a distinct feature. The yellow will hit in a straight line. The purple will hit, you know, one target at a time. The blue is a group.
And red is all.
Yeah. You that's kind of like Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, it's just
there's you know, through a straight line, area of effect, either emanating out from your person or
there's perfectly vertical, perfectly horizontal.
Yeah.
You got, you know, shit like Twister and then, you know, Falcon Hit, you know, that are vertical and horizontal, respectively.
I don't know why the camera did that weird.
I mean, that's dramatic effect.
Adjustment.
So, guys, I highly recommend supporting small creators on YouTube, Twitch, or wherever they upload stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially when they do things. You know, we're watching people create content, and this is their livelihood, and I recommend supporting them. But, I mean, sometimes users will go and try something larger.
It's like, why am I not moving there?
Larger than their normal content. You know, maybe even try to make a movie. Like, Ashens eventually made a movie called Ashens in the Search for Game Child. And it did so well that he's going to be doing a sequel called Ashens and the Bolivia's Heist. We found out that Cinema Snob made his own movie.
Yeah. Oh, I was just sitting here like, where's he getting
this going? So we were like, oh, he's a cool dude. He makes pretty funny content. His reviews are funny. Let's watch that movie. Don't. Don't do that.
Well, certainly don't pay for it. Anyway.
It's...
I mean, again, at least he made a movie as promised. I can't help but, you know, kind of, like, be on the side for that, but it just, you have to know all these, and that's what he's been about during his reviews. I mean, it's always been about that, like, but you have to know as much, you have to be as big a movie buff as him to get all the references to actors and old movies and stuff, to get all the jokes. And it's
even
just,
the ones I funny.
It just comes across. Well, no, I'm sorry. I laughed at several of them. Sorry, buddy, but
several though. I think
and
a handful is being generous.
And it's just, it just came across as boring. tackle. I don't even know why we're watching. I guess just every now and then I feel obligated just to not skip through it.
I like it's called tackle and it's more like blow the fuck up.
When it's more like what?
Blow them the fuck up. Like they explode.
Yeah, it does kind of look
They don't
like
get knocked down, they blow up.
Alright, there we go. That was shorter than I thought it'd be.
Well, hey, it wasn't the entire video.
Yeah, you see we're getting to like the border of Vic's attack because all the leaves are blowing and crap.
Yeah.
It's the Green Kingdom, motherfucker! Yeah. Well, might as well at least try to attack. Pyre it up in the meantime.
Yeah.
I hate it when he does that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds so retarded.
Moves, give me strength.
It's good stuff.
But hey, if you like low budget exploitation, making fun of exploitation, the movie's for you.
But we're having such a hard time the entire movie figuring out if it was bad on purpose or not, because all the things that he makes fun of in his normal videos, he was guilty of in his movie. Like not using tripods so the cams are super shaky. No semblance of audio balancing whatsoever. Like awkward continuity shot changes and just that's all there. And I'm like,
And
he's got to be doing it on purpose.
and sex
right?
scenes and gore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you get
That is one thing I think they actually did well considering what kind of movie this is supposed to be and like who's making it. This isn't like a major studio
No, this
kind of thing. I actually think the gore effects were mostly done pretty well.
I've seen
interesting.
worse in actual movies. Is, I guess is what
Yeah.
I'd say.
I didn't know it was like none of the just super little bits and pieces I saw of it beforehand. None of them were of kills, so I didn't know it was going to eventually turn to like a slasher mystery.
Yeah. What's funny is,
And it took like 50 minutes into the 2-hour movie to even get to the first kill. So
it's funny because when we watched Ashton's and the Quest for the Game Child, that was readily available on YouTube. In fact, it was on Ashton's channel itself. This movie, however, was very hard to find. I had to go to some really obscure streaming site that had it. The first version it had dubbed over, it was dubbed over in like Spanish or something. And I eventually found it, and I can't even remember the site anymore. And I'm like, why is this so hard to find? And I'm like, maybe it's really good. And he's trying to, legitimately monetize this, and he's pulling it down anywhere he finds it. No. The reason why it's so hard to find is because it's not really worth uploading.
Moves, give me
So it's just rare.
Well, to be fair, you'd have to say that about a lot of creative content if you use that as the measuring stick,
Yeah.
that it's not worth uploading. But don't get me wrong, I've been a fan. Most of his reviews are funny and good. He doesn't have a lot of the same annoying tropes that Nostalgia Critic had during his reviews either.
Here goes.
So just stick with the reviews. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's only if you can kind of hold your lunch, because of the kinds of movies that it's his job to watch and review. Be aware that most of them are like exploitation, violence, and sex, and can be pretty disgusting.
Yeah, because it's just going for.
In fact, if it wasn't for the Cinema Snob, I would not ever have known what necromantic was. That's not a good thing.
And until yesterday, I didn't know what necromantic was.
I keep getting the friggin'. It was one of those things where if I gotta suffer, you gotta suffer.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
I think what I'm gonna do.
Okay, my fans on my channel, don't look up necromantic, okay? Just think of the title, and you already have a good enough idea.
No, you don't, because I tried to come up with the idea, and I was wrong. I was very wrong. So,
Okay, well, just don't.
and I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say, do.
And say, do.
That's got to be a discovery. That's
Yeah,
absolutely
underneath it
100%
is.
discovery.
Like, right as you said it, I was like, oh, wait, I remember that. Vaguely.
Do.
Okay, even the same enemies from the South Ocean hang around in
Maybe they just kind of.
Taka proper.
Give me strength.
It was like, maybe the player did not have enough of instant death enemies. Why? Why do you
I mean,
put-
I think I played through this game like 3 times before my whole life. Before this time.
Yeah.
Like, and they were all the way through. I just remember 1 or 2 of those times I had a much harder time getting through the South Ocean than we did just now.
Well, let's be grateful that
And I distinctly remember, I don't know, I must have been tripping, or it was more of a random enemy that showed up that we didn't see this time. But I know they do Eternities, and it almost always knocked out at least 2 party members.
Well, let's just be glad that didn't
So
happen.
I'm actually glad that even though Eternum is guaranteed, it's only on 1 person. That's the worst you can do.
Yep.
Come on, Vyse. Really?
Speaking of RPGs, I have recently finished Octopath Traveler, and I thought it was really good.
I liked the artwork because I was
Oh,
looking
dude.
for games to go through yesterday. I was checking it
The
out.
visual style is amazing. You know my favorite style, right? My favorite style has always been 3D environment with 2D sprites. You
Yeah.
know, stuff like Final Fantasy Tactics, Xenogears, that kind of layout.
Yeah.
That's 3D environment, 2D sprites, Disgaea, and like good stuff, right? That's exactly what it is. And it was funny, the first time I was booting it up and it was going through all the people that are involved with the creation of the game, like the companies, it said it uses the Unreal Engine. I'm like, why would an RPG ever use the Unreal Engine? I don't understand. Because that's something that, usually first-person shooters use, same thing with like physics and stuff like this, and this is a turn-based JRPG. But I have to say, they use the Unreal Engine for like light, like shading and atmosphere, and like light. It actually looks amazing.
Right.
I really, really like the game style. So the premise of the game, since I know you don't really know anything about it, right?
I don't.
Okay, so this will be a good thing to get some convo going. Is there are 8 characters. They all have their individual stories. And when you start up a game, you're given the world map, and you see where all 8 people start, because they all start in different locations. You get to pick one of those characters as your quote-unquote main character, right? And that's where you start. And you can pick, and you can see the other characters on the map, and you can go to each character and recruit them in any order you wish. That is a creepy face.
Oh yeah, I remember. They always imagine they have like a Doug Funny fantasy about no, when it did like and it's so exaggerated. It's like, oh, this is what's gonna happen when we actually get into this.
I like the art style. Look at Fina's face.
I know. And so Vyse is like imagining, oh my gosh, there's gonna be like all these carnivorous animals roaming in the jungles who are gonna eat us alive. Dude, I think you can handle it. Even if there
Despite the fact we just went through a part of the world map full of instant death enemies.
And I mean, again, they're just... Every time we do something new and major in this game, every time Vyse and Ike and Fina, they discover a new place, they act like nobody's ever done it before. Yeah. But there's some kind of proof that it has been done before, just, of course, rarely.
Yeah.
And the Empire is somehow, their technological advances put them one step ahead of you or one step right behind you. Like, in all the thousands, millions of years that Arcadia has probably existed, and it's just now happening, suddenly everybody knows of this place now. The first people who discover it, everybody else is right behind them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
able to have the same technology and fortitude
again,
and courage that Vyse and his crew have.
you're gonna have to, for the sake of a video game, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, because I mean, you kind of have to do stuff like that to compress the story down to being
a
tellable in one
game.
Yeah. You know,
You're gonna have to,
without taking place over thousands of years or something.
You can't nitpick like that.
But
Aye, aye.
well, I'm sorry, I'm going to nitpick. I'm not like truly counting it as a fault.
Oh,
I just like making fun of it, you know?
nah.
I just gotta say it. Alright, here we go. Well, I guess
Are you
not.
sure it was on top? Or was it that one?
Well, actually, if all the continents have, like,
Not
basically it's like giant uprooted trees, well then that's not a discovery because everything is like that.
all. I guess not. Alright, whatever. So,
That's cool.
the interesting thing
What's
about
this in the distance? Let's check it out.
the interesting thing about Octopath Traveler is each character has their own storyline, right? So, and it's 4 chapters each, and they each show up on the world map. So you can do them in any order you want, provided you're strong enough. You've got the recommended level.
Cool.
And
I like that kind of.
but it's
So it's
I
basically
guess
like
you could say technically it's open world.
it's basically like Wild Arms.
No.
The way Wild Arms 1, 2, and 3 started out, right?
Not
Where you can do like each individual.
yeah, but no. Like it's not like
Yeah, but no.
it. You literally can go anywhere and do them in any order, and you actually physically travel on the world map. Like it's interesting, but there are some problems with this. So since you can do that in any order, once you finish, like let's say you pick a character for chapter 1 and you complete their chapter 1, right? And you go to the next town to where the next party member is, and you recruit them.
Right.
Well, you can then do their opening scenario, their chapter 1, right? Well, the character, oh, that's big.
I want a piece of him.
He's a lot bigger than you.
Actually, it might be an Empire ship. Yeah, they're already here.
But here's
Oh shit!
I told you.
They had the magic cannon.
I got the magic ship.
Well, I might have done something wrong.
Yeah, I did kind of say maybe you don't want to do that. I don't think you're gonna do that. But here's the thing, right? You go to the second person you want to pick up. The first person that you pick doesn't say a word the entire time. Like the second, like they don't give the first person you picked up any special dialogue because what like they would have to then have special dialogue for every potential character that you could have at that point, which is 7 other characters, and they didn't want to do the work, right? So all the characters, anytime you're in any character's chapter, doesn't matter which chapter, the game treats it like the other party members just don't exist at all, right?
Okay.
But later in the game, you start doing kind of skits like Tales of games, the Tales of skits, and that somehow makes up for the fact that they're treated like they simply don't exist. And once you do their chapter 4, they never say another word. The rest of the game, they just become mutes. It's kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics. Whenever, you know, MP like
Let's say guest member
Whenever
goes
they-
permanent,
yeah.
that like their
Yes.
direct involvement in the story has to be over.
right, so
because
they
they're
don't
now
say another word.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, except in
TV's
special scenes, where it's like you have to have them alive still by that time.
But for all intents and purposes,
Right.
once they join your party as a permanent character that you can play and control, they just turn into a mute. And Octopath Traveler suffers from that as well. But that's like my biggest complaint about the game. Everything else is great. The battle system is great. The graphics are great. Their individual stories are great. And the battle system's really interesting, too. It's all about finding enemies' weaknesses and hitting them with them enough to the point where they quote-unquote break, and then they take excess damage from things that you do while they're in this broken state. So it becomes this rhythm of weakness, break, then pile on the damage, and, you know, repeat.
Can it happen to you?
No, you don't break. It's just,
See, Xenogears Episode 3 wasn't gonna have any of that.
No,
it's
no.
like, if it can happen to the enemy, it's only fair if they can do it to you. And I'm sorry, I had to go with that.
You didn't have a choice. You're not screwed yet. What's the last time you saved?
At the beginning of this video. Well, remember, if you die, you can instantly retry.
Let's hope you can do it then.
It says I have a chance for a harpoon next turn. So.
But yeah, this is also a job class based RPG where you can mix and match job classes.
Hey, what happened to it? Well, it said I did. Well, excuse me, princess. Just keep it coming, I guess.
But I ended up beating the game, and beating the game is pretty much doing all 4 chapters on all the characters. But you don't have to. If you do the 4th chapter on your main character, they basically give you the credits. You're just like, hey, congrats on the game. And you can do the other 4 chapter 4s if you want to. But there is an optional boss fight, the true ending or whatever you want to call it. Again, the game that this all your characters are you bastards. They don't say anything anymore, but I had a problem. I didn't actually beat the final optional boss, despite the fact that I was pretty well prepared for it. So here's the thing. The final dungeon, and you might consider this a spoiler, I don't consider this a spoiler. I'm not going to give away anything story-related. This is all mechanical.
I don't worry about spoilers, man.
There are people out there that care
I know.
way too much about spoilers.
And I just want to make it known,
there are people
I am not one of them. I hate it when somebody pitches a fit over spoilers over something that
isn't a spoiler.
is like 20 years old. And it's like, okay, if you weren't going to see it by now, what does it matter?
Because I haven't seen it.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to like sit here and worry and ponder in my mind, okay, is this going to be a spoiler to you? Make sure I got to watch what I say every time before I say it when just talking casually about trivial stuff that's cool. It might be cool, but it's still trivial, like movies and games. I'm not going to sit here and be like, maybe he hasn't seen this yet, and something that's, like an NES game that was made in 1888, yeah. 1888.
Some people consider the design of Gygas's final form in Earthbound a spoiler. I don't consider...
Because everybody's trying to find some deep... Well, yeah, I know who you're referring to.
Yeah.
Some deep hidden meaning behind it.
Some people think...
Like a douchey film snob.
Well, that's a callback. What about people that think that just sharing your opinion is kind of a spoiler?
Yeah, I hate that.
It's
like, okay,
what
guys,
kind of fucking eggshell?
Even if something was genuinely spoiled for you, it's just...
a movie/game.
Yeah, it's relatively trivial. Your life is not over.
It means everything, SK. It means everything. Anyway,
there are worse things that can happen to a man in his life. That's all I can tell you.
If you
this guy has
if
very
you
little
got
HP.
wet paper thin feelings about spoilers, then don't.
Okay, I'm sorry. Right quick, how you turn down the volume of the game? Hearing it, because I'm having a hard time.
There's one slider that works. Nope.
On the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one
Because I feel like I'm having to talk over
Okay.
the volume. I know they can't hear it like that.
So the big mechanical spoiler for Octopath Travelers, the final dungeon, once you unlock it, have to do a few specific side quests to introduce new characters, is you have to go there, but in here it's a perfect storm kind of scenario that made me like, I'm not doing this, okay? So you go to the dungeon, and they're like, alright, this is a point of no return. You cannot come back once you go into this. And I'm like, I'm not a big fan of that mechanic, but sure. Okay, let's do it. So I'll jump in.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me stop you real quick. I now know what they meant by magic cannon. They just meant being able to use magic on you. I just now realized that. I thought they were talking about the Moonstone cannon.
Oh.
That is not a good thing. I think it's something we pick up when we get the better ship about halfway through the game.
Yeah.
So that was like a new weapon just now developed by Blue. But I was, for some reason, I was thinking that's what they were talking about. I was like, that's definitely going to crash my ship in one go. They just meant we can use magic spells. Well, whatever. That's no worse than what I dealt with Malaysia. Go ahead.
So the mechanic of not being able to return or go back, that's fine. But also I found out throughout this dungeon, you also cannot save at any point either. So you cannot retreat, you cannot save, right? So like those two together, I think that's pretty rough. Like that's a pretty high bar for completion. Well then the big gimmick in this dungeon is a boss rush. You got to go through 8 bosses of the game that are souped up.
Yeah.
And you got to go through all of those. Again, no saving, no leaving, right? And I'm like, wow, okay. So a boss rush where you can't leave and you can't save. Not a problem. Like, it took about... I probably didn't take that long. Maybe like 30, 40, maybe an hour to get through it. And I'm like, alright. I don't know how hard this final boss is going to be, but I'm ready. Like, I got through all these bosses, they pretty easy. Didn't have any problems, right? So
Says you.
Yeah. The fact that I'm going into so much detail about this,
Hey,
you
yeah,
know it's going to go
know.
bad. Like, this is not going to end
We
well.
know where this is going.
So I made it to the final boss, and then the game asked me to split my party into 2 groups of 4. Out of the 8 characters, so everybody's gonna fight.
Uh-oh.
You know why this is a problem? Because like everybody who plays an RPG, they pick
Not me.
their main characters that they most plan to use, and they stick with them. So my main characters,
You know I've never been one of those guys. I like to screw around with everybody, more or less. Which is why I'm prepared when something like that happens.
So
In fact, dude,
so
not
when
to-
we're playing this game, you're gonna level everybody, even when Drachma becomes irrelevant. You're gonna pull him back from time to time to make sure his level's up with everybody else.
Oh no, not in Skies of Arcadia.
Oh, so you're not that kind of person. You're sometimes that person.
Mostly.
Okay, all right.
And the only reason is, I think you can't even... I don't even remember if you have to do something particular to get Drachma back permanently. That's just my memory. I just usually like to go with Enrique.
Yeah.
And he really...
So,
and by the end of the game, he only gets as much party, like, active time as Drachma does.
Well, I don't care about screen time. I'm talking about at the end of the game, you clearly are going to have characters that are way higher level than others that you're not using as much. Are you telling me?
Not really in this case.
Usually in games, you make sure as everybody is leveling equally.
Just about,
normally.
yeah. Well, I mean, of course, it's not precisely equally.
I'm incredibly.
But I don't like, if I see like the final battle happening, I don't like, okay, I'm gonna pick a party now and just use only them for like the remaining 5-10 hours of the game because we're getting towards the end. I don't do that. I still like to use all characters. I'm genuinely
I mean, I'll concede that, but I'm incredibly skeptical. I feel that if we
I'm like that. You've known that. This is not something new you're discovering
How
about
do I
me.
know that?
Uh-oh. Because you've gotten on to me about that before. You honestly don't remember ever talking about how, like, especially like Thousand Arms LP in particular. Which I had no problem just doing it, you know, your way. You're like, when I first played through this game, I eventually got so sick of the battle system, which is totally understandable. I mean, I'm not...
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, it seemed like Mice, Musa, and Weena had, like, all the goods, all the attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to get, wanted to get through this game, you know?
Yeah.
So, pretty early on, as soon as I realized this, I just got to where I just used them and, you know, for the rest of the game. Because you had total control over who could be in your party by then. And I had no problem doing that for the LP as well. I mean, pretty much. Because that was, I'm just trying to get through that
Alright, well...
LP.
Alright.
But when playing a game, especially like Final Fantasy VII, love using all the characters. And pretty much any other Final Fantasy
The only thing that makes the characters special in Final Fantasy VII is their limit break, and nothing else.
And their weapons.
Weapons?
There's more than enough distinction between
What do you mean their weapons?
the kinds of weapons they use. Cloud uses a sword, Tifa uses
I
fists.
mean,
Generally not as strong as a sword. That's not really what she's about.
yeah, but I mean, it's just a weapon. You just hit with it. It's not.
Okay, you could probably ultimately say that in just about every RPG then, if you're gonna use Final Fantasy VII as the standard there, that every character is just about the same as
Wrong,
another.
because in other RPGs they have unique skills, but in Final like in Chrono
Limit breaks?
let's yeah. All right,
That's
that's what I'm saying. This is the only difference. But in Chrono Trigger, everybody has their own limit or their own spells. Like only Chrono can have lightning. You know, that makes him more unique because only he can have lightning. And only Luca can have fire. And so outside from their text and outside from that, they have their magic spells. But in Final Fantasy VII, anybody can have lightning because you can put it on
So
anybody.
mostly you're talking about like the difference between FF6, if I'm using two examples here, the difference between FF6 and FF7. FF6 specific roles.
Right, I guess kind of. But even then you can give anybody any spell with Estus. So...
Yeah, but at least like one's a thief, one's a...
Right.
More about that. Well,
basically, I'm talking about
One's
the
blue
difference
badge.
is you can give any game where you can give all characters pretty much the same set of spells. Then the only thing that makes them different is their limit break. So when you're like, I prefer switching out characters in a game like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, where like literally the only thing that defines those characters is their limits. I mean, yeah, they use different weapon types, but I mean, to the extent that just means attacking. Like, it's not like a different attack pattern with a different AoE or a different like. Most of the time, all the weapons that they get, they all fit a theme. Like, this is the weapon that only has 2 slots, but really has high attack power. Everybody gets one of those. Or this is the one that has the most slots, it does less damage. You know? This is the one that has few slots, but gives double, AP or whatever, you know? Or it has double learn, or quadruple learn, or whatever. But anyways, I guess you can see where the end of the Octopath thing was going. Basically, I had level like 60-something characters for my main, and all my other characters that I had decided I'm not using anymore were level 20. I could not beat that boss, because half my party were complete garbage. So, and because there was no leaving and no saving...
I remember that was an issue for you when you... How many times you played through Starship Forges? Pretty much once, like when it first came out?
Yep.
But you know, like me, you tried to do all the optional stuff right then and there, and that was the reason you seemed to not be able to get past Gabriel's...
No, I beat Gabrielle Celeste in Form 1. No, wait.
Well, I remember one time when I saw you play, I guess it was before you finally got him for the first time, it was like once your 4 characters died that you pretty much stuck with for like maybe the entire second half of the game. You know, once you had like full control over who could be in your party and everything, and you left the other characters severely underleveled. They're like way back in the 30s and 40s, which of course means they die instantly.
Yep.
I just kept switching them out. I was like, you know, haven't had Limmel for a while. Let's take her aboard.
I did not like Limmel.
I used to not, and then I kind of started seeing like this. It's like a clever insinuation about her character. She has Down syndrome.
Super
And
clever.
it's like that's why all the time she thinks she's just acting retarded.
Well, I mean,
I can't really like think of how to say this right now, but anyway, point is, you know, everybody like, oh hey, hadn't had Bacchus aboard for a while, and you know he's cool, so let's bring him aboard for this dungeon. Had everybody pretty even, you know what? So I had 8, you know, characters who could come in and do their thing. If you know, when I was doing one of the harder battles.
But here's the thing, like, if you
and
do
guess
that,
what? I won. In fact, you got onto me. Well, no, you didn't get onto me. You were like making fun of me, like, oh, just you wait, man. When you finally get to a few years ago when I was doing SO4 and going through all the, you know, let's get to. I think this is town, so let's get there. Okay.
Hi?
Did I actually hear him, like, shouting off from the treetops? Like, fully? I know, there's no sense. It's not like we had to make an entire scene for that or anything. But yeah. You were like, oh, dude, just you wait. It's hard. I'm telling like, Gabri Celeste, and I don't think...
Celia Queen,
have you tried...
I was not be able... I couldn't even get to her.
Have you tried to do Wandering Dungeon at all?
No. Well, I think I stuck my foot in there and did like a 4 or 2, and I'm like...
And then you're just like, screw
no,
this.
I don't want to do this.
Or at least not right now.
I did Gabrielle's, like, dual wing form. I didn't do quad wing or octa wing. Like...
Oh, cool.
Right ship parts?
G-type cannon.
That's... And they got floor... What's floor heater?
Takes advantage of engine heat to keep...
So you lose 20 defense, 20 quick, and 5
for
dodge.
Plus 1 in magic power? Okay. No,
That's
thank you?
No?
Oh, restore spirit. That might be good if I need that in a pinch.
Yeah. But yeah, so I lost the fight. I tried my best. I tried to put 2 strong characters with 2 weak party members in hopes that my characters were... Wow. That's a lot of green.
That's like... I really don't know how this works. I just know that that's not as good as it looks.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of... It's like some kind of auxiliary weapon that doesn't come back and does its thing until the next turn. And hopefully it hits in conjunction...
and it comes down
and
later.
hopefully it hits in conjunction with whatever weapon you used on that turn, the main weapon, to do, like, major combo damage. Something like that.
Yeah.
I really don't know how.
But yeah. So, I lost the fight, even though I did my best. And since it was no save and no leave, it put me back before the boss rush. And I'm like, so you're telling me I'm going to have to go and try to grind my low-level characters up just so I can do this boss rush again, just for another attempt at the final boss? No, not happening.
Well, it was optional, right?
Yeah, it was an optional final boss, so... Like, and the thing is, like, if they had stated at some point in the game that it might be important that, you know, you might have to use all 8 characters at the same time for something, that would have been one thing. But they didn't do that. They just snuck it into you at the very last second, and they did that after you've already committed to a dungeon where you can't save and can't leave.
Yeah, now like that, like in the midst of it, yeah, that's BS. Wait, I'm going to sell the discovery information about finding Ixataka to a person in Ixataka.
Hey.
I've heard of its existence. You're here!
Hey. Hey, SK. I have discovered this town called El Dorado. I would like to tell you this information.
Really, man?
Yeah. Only $220.
Who knows? Could be a gold rush there. Oh, crap. Why do I always... You've heard of Domingo, right? I mean, like, actually, I think this was in our mini Gmail conversations back when I was at Nestle. I could probably pull that up, actually. You're like, oh, just you wait. It's a hard. The Cave of 7 Stars. Okay, you might have gotten through that without ever dying, but wait till you get to Gabri's Celeste. Thunderclap.
Well, which form did you do?
I did 2 out of 3.
You did the 4-wing version?
Yep.
Beat it?
Yep.
Good job.
First try. Yeah, I told you about it. And I think it was mostly about arguing about, like, do I try to get everybody up to try to find use for battle in everybody and get them appropriately leveled up for this? And yeah, I probably spent a whole lot more time leveling up overall than you did because of that.
Because the way you look at it is you can either focus on a single party and have them very high level and very capable, and yeah, you have characters you aren't using, but you're not using them, so what does it matter? Or you could try to level everybody up equally, but then overall, you put in the same amount of time, but everybody's at a lower level than if you would have focused on just one party.
Right.
You know?
And I mean, the only reason I hadn't gotten to, it's just I haven't even made it to Etheria Queen, and from the information from my player's guide, it looks like she's actually going to be, she's not as strong as the final form at Gabri, so that's why I hadn't done him yet. It's not that I lost interest. I don't know where I broke off a couple of years ago, but it was sometime like right before I moved out of the apartments in Bossier City, so that was a significantly long time ago.
Yep.
Where I stopped going through the Wandering Knight. I think I got to level 15 out of 20, and I was going to do some more, like, just kind of going through it, like, bits at a time, trying to find valuable equipment and get leveled up through random battles at the same time before attempting to go the whole way. But until I beat her, I definitely wasn't going to go back to the final form of Gabri.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and I think I got like I think I'm like at like 190 on everybody level.
Out of 255, I believe. Like,
yeah, isn't that the cap?
Yeah. And the thing is, around level 15, you should be able to get shit like Philosopher's Stones and stuff, which is necessary for crafting some of the best weapons in the game.
It was definitely... Actually, no, I think, like, once I got one, it was a lot of work, but I at least knew it was going to eventually happen. It's one of those things where I don't have to keep going around the Wandering Dungeon just hoping against hope to have that rare drop. But you keep mining for magic clay after you get one, so that you can use and maximize your skill with
copy or
whatever that was,
counterfeit or whatever.
God, these guys are kind of big. They got some HP on them.
Yeah, they do. That was a 300. You swung 300 and hardly do anything.
Yeah, it looks to be like probably got about at least 1,000, not 1,500.
You might need to pull out some Callous Wrath.
Yeah, Callous Wrath. Oh, by the way, did you ever get a Final Fantasy Heroes of Light, 4 Heroes of Light on your DS?
No, I did not.
It's a good throwback to very, very classic Final Fantasy, especially in terms of mechanics and just whole feel, atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I mean, there's not much to it, but it suffices. And it, like, I remember a few years ago, it's like right before MagCon 2015, I was like, I suddenly got this urge, I'm like, I need to play my DS more. You know, I bought it late, you know, pretty late after it first came out, you know, really kind of behind everybody else. And I liked it. It's a great system.
Oh yeah, because it has
but it's like
a huge library.
I haven't been getting my mileage out of it. So let's get some games for it. So I went on like a shopping spree, got like 4 games. I think it was like Magical Starship, some kind of RPG, anime like, and 9 doors, 9 people, 9 mysteries. Like, it was called 3-9 for short. something like that. Some kind of
99.
yeah. And another one was Final Fantasy IV Heroes of Light. I've generally just been working on that, but it's like I only work. It's not because it sucks. Don't get me wrong. No, I like it, but I've only been like working on it during trips and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you got time away from everybody else. So I'm still on it. So I started working on that a little more while I was staying in Shreveport Thursday night, just so I could go right into the job interview on Friday morning.
Right.
So I was getting a little bit more out of that out of the way, but it's like those games that I'm working on it over a very long period of time, because this was right before MadCon 2015. I remember that I got this, and
3 years later,
during like my just when we're all just kind of just hanging around chilling, not really doing something together, but just kind of like in the same room, just doing our own thing. I started working on that. I was like, hey, this 3.9 game is good. I'm trying to look around. Where was the town? And I started working on Heroes of Light there too.
I don't know where the town is.
And remember, I was like giving you updates, like you and K-Jack, while you were kind of sitting in the same room, like, oh hey, I just decided to name the first character SK, and I named like the other male character of the 4 characters Lantis, and then I named the 2 female characters Faye and Sumi. That's probably it right here.
That's gotta be it. Yeah, that's it.
So it's SK, Lantis, Faye, and Sumi. All right. I remember this music was kind of retarded, but kind of catchy at the same time.
What are you talking about? I like it. Actually, yeah, I remember this track. I think I really like this track. What's so weird about it?
Everybody's like, it's what you'd expect, when you venture into the Amazon, just some primal tribe. They can't talk your language, and they just surround you with spears. Like,
I mean,
intruder!
You mean with spear? Because only one dude had a spear.
Are you Quetia?
And they speak English.
I know, but it's like going off that trope when they first showed up. It's like immediately aggressive to any... I think they're actually trying to save Valua. Yeah, somehow in whatever amount of time that the Empire's been here before us, remember the De Loco guy?
Yeah.
One of the top 5 generals, whatever they were called. He set up a office here in like a factory where he's got all these people like slaving away for moonstones in some kind of mines. And I think that's our next dungeon actually in this area.
I like how
facial expressions.
Aka looks like she has a freaking infinity gauntlet on her left hand.
Didn't they give her wrist cramps after a while, just lugging that around?
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't weigh anything like a quarter of a pound. It's just leather, I'm assuming.
But if you're using a weight, any amount, on one hand, pretty much your whole entire life, every waking moment, and the other is, there's a imbalance there. Could cause physical problems in the future. Wow.
Yeah, if you say so.
Went on for an hour. Okay, that's a good time to call it a video.
All right,
here.
guys.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, when we explore this place.